Come in. I haven't got all night. I'm having my thighs waxed at 4.
But it's only 9 a.m.
Don't come in here with that back talk or I'll dress you in a fat suit and have you wrestling pigs before you can say kleptomaniac.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, that's right. You should be sorry. You should also take off that lime green tie as well. I mean, what in all the turquoise-scented botanist possessed you? I mean, good Christ. It's like breaking down someone to their very core and then rebuilding them, only doing so in a room full of foul-smelling animal waste. You'd think I'd get paid more than minimum wage to do this, and to any of these fuckers ever send me a Hanukkah sex toy? Do they bollocks?
Am I in the right room?
You're in a room. You're in a very good room. It's got a ceiling, a floor, a window, parts of some walls, and a collage of the Queen making scrambled eggs painted by a Dutch reactionary who refuses to go by the name Donald. It's damn near almost priceless. So I would say you are very definitely in a room, yes. Whether it be the right room, the left room, or the correct room is a matter for our panel of judges. If you'd let me, I'd like to welcome...
Is this quite necessary?
Ow! Quiet you or face the wrath of the almighty breathed ones of Argon 8. Sorry, judges, could you all shuffle out looking dejected? Harold here has spoiled the whole effect. Right, ready? Now, where was I? Is a matter for our panel of judges. If you'd let me, I'd like to welcome Dame Petty Loeb member, who won the Palme d'Or at Cannes for her filmed portrayal of a cheese sandwich at war with a pickle in 1943.
Good evening.
Franklin Lloyd Wrong, a famous handstandist and inventor of dogging.
I've put it away.
And Morgan Freeman.
Hello.
Ladies, by a show of buttocks, please indicate, is Harold in the correct room? Your time starts now. See, Harold? Do you see? I count precisely 9 buttocks, and we flew Morgan Freeman all the way in from Patagonia, where he was cataloguing the effect tortoise spunk has on the learning ability of acrobats. You really have no idea how lucky you are.
I like torty pudding.
You can put your asses away now, gentlemen, and leave the same way you came in, with an overwhelming sense of loss and despair.
I think I'll just go.
Yes, go ahead, go. You'd leave, wouldn't you? Leave without so much as giving us some gratuity for all the effort we put in to make you better, or without so much as a sneeze thank you into the dirty nose rag of our direction. Well, be gone with you, Harold. Be gone and never darken this chiropodist again. I will die 1,000 deaths and weep many more from the tip of my bulbous end before I forgive you, or find my damn DVD remote.
I only came in for some bloody toothpaste.
But did you, Harold? I saw it in your pert lips and open-toed sandals. You wanted so much more. Something sweeter, something amazing, some whirlwind romance with a sodomist from Luton who has every last VHS cassette of Last of the Summer Wine. But you were weak, weren't you, Harold? Weak as Thor a herd trying to swat a fly with the last remaining flaps of arm skin that God has graced her with. This is why you leave toothpasteless, and that is why you will never know what I have in this gold Viking's helmet.
I am a little intrigued.
But I'm not going to tell you, or your aunt.
I don't have an aunt, I'm an only child. Please tell me what's in the helmet.
They're all right. It's not very special, actually, and I'm not sure why I made such a bloody song and dance about it, actually. I was only fooling myself, really, and the good listeners.
Listeners?
Oh, don't be coy. Grab my horn and give it a damn good yank.
What happens then?
This! Punchy titty cakes, but someone always ended up in tears. Hello and welcome to yet another episode of the After Movie Diner, and what a thrill it is to be back. You may have noticed that we haven't been around for a couple of weeks. Sorry about that. I don't really know what to tell you. No big story or anything, just been working, doing a job, you know, living the life, commuting and all that sort of thing, and plus there's been ninja films to watch. Bloody ninja films. The gall of it all. Oh, and I met Dick Miller. Anyway, enough of all that tosh. How about we go on to our first segment, Disney's Got Enough of Your Money.
Disney's got enough of your money. Disney's got enough of your money. Disney's got enough of your money. Why don't you support some indie? Disney's got enough of your money. Motherfucking Disney's got enough of your money. Motherfucking Disney's got your money. So why don't you support some indie now? Independent guys and gals, support them now. Independent guys, cause Disney's got enough of your money. Ooh.
Okay, so last time we were on this segment, we had 3 wonderful novelists. I hope you've all gone out there and purchased away their books, or purchased their books away, or just... Anyway, this week it's the turn of music, and 3 excellent musicians that deserve your time and attention. First up, it's the wonderful Joel Lurie and the Pinehurst Trio, and their debut album, Take Me There, is available over on iTunes, but you can find out all the deets and listen to some preview tracks over at joellurie.com. That is JoelLurie.com. 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 Please go over and check that out. It's an awesome album. Next up, the second album from perennial Aftermovie Diner... Oh, God, I've dropped something. Perennial favourites of the Aftermovie Diner, Old Time Musketry, with our good pal Philip Rowan. He plays bass and a bunch of other wonderful, fantastically talented guys. Their second album, Drifter, is available over at oldtimemusketry.com. I'm only going to spell this once. OldTimeMusketry.com, oldtimemusketry.com. Go check them out. Their second album, Drifter, now available for sale. And lastly, the genius behind Moten Media. Yes, that's right, Matt Farley is at it again with the fantastically awesome album Jobs Songs by the Very Nice Interesting Singer Man. It's now on iTunes, so look up the Very Nice Interesting Singer Man and Jobs Songs. That's completely correct. You didn't mishear that. Both Jobs and Songs are pluralized in this album title. So check it out, Jobs Songs. It's also on Spotify. If you don't want to buy it, then stream it on Spotify and keep streaming it on Spotify until Matt makes a quarter of a penny. Absolutely fantastic. You can hear me, that's right, me, the man talking to you now, discuss Jobs Songs by the Very Nice Interesting Singer Man over at the Moten Media Infomercial Podcast, which I was on 3 episodes ago, and you can find that also on iTunes. Or SoundCloud.
Disney's got enough of your money. Disney's got enough of your money. Disney's got enough of your money. Ooh, you better support some indie. Disney's got enough of your money. Disney's got enough of your money. Disney's got enough of your money now. Why? It's more than them people.
And lastly, before we start the show, if you would like to know how you support the Aftermovie Diner, you go over to patreon.com/Aftermovie Diner. That's patreon.com/Aftermovie Diner and become a regular sponsor of the show. Or you can go over to iTunes and Stitcher and wherever it's possible to rate and review the show and just go rate and review us. That costs you absolutely bloody nothing. So why don't you go rate and review us on iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, wherever you see an ability to rate and review us. Go do that pretty thing.
and in the evening it's stronger than before. I feel my face all aglow. I can't stop smiling with your hand in mine. Almost didn't let you know, but I'm so glad I laid my heart on the line. When I was younger, people in the streets so busy, I used to wonder.
Hello and welcome to yet another episode of the After Movie Diner, and here we are in a whole new diner called Old John's Luncheonette, which is on 67th Street, just off Broadway, and we've just been to the AMC Lowe's at Lincoln Center to watch the latest from the sort of old man action stable, which was Sean Penn in The Gunman. And sitting opposite me, as always, is my wonderful dear friend and regular cohort on these little movie and diner trips, Mr. James Wallace. Hello, and welcome back to the show, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for having me. So we're thinking about what to get, right?
Yes, we are indeed, sir. Yes, we are
I haven't got
indeed.
it in my mind yet.
Okay.
I'm thinking some kind of sandwich.
Well, they do good sandwiches, that's what I've heard. Oh no, hold the phones. Roasted chicken with rosemary with garlicky mashed potatoes and vegetables.
Alright, fuck it. I'm going to get the Coney Island roast beef. But I don't like the dip in. I won't dip. I'll just eat.
You're going to get the dip?
Yeah.
I kind of want the dip.
Well, you can both get the same. We're not like brothers.
No,
and we're
no,
out.
I understand, but like, I've had 2 bread products today.
Right. You can do what you like. I mean, look at your shirt-cardigan combination. Clearly you're a man that can get away with anything.
What's wrong with my shirt-cardigan combination?
I think it's very smart.
I don't have any other jumpers, really.
Oh, okay.
I mean, apart from big winter jumpers.
No, I just noticed that very recently, about a year ago, you sort of made this shift into cardigans. It just happened. It's fine, nothing wrong with it. You look very smart in cardigans. I just noticed that it happened. That's all.
I hate you and your face. Oh, fuck it, I'll have the roasted chicken.
We're just going to complain all the way
No,
through.
I'm not going to complain. I'm going to ask if they have gravy. Right, so we just sat through The Gunman, right? which might well have been dubbed "Never Let Sean Penn Write Part of Your Action Movie," right? Because 2 things will happen. One, he'll believe that an audience for an old man action movie wants to spend 45 minutes getting to know the fucking character before anything happens, and the other thing that he'll have on his mind is, oh, what terrible things happen in Africa. Another thing I don't want on my mind while he's shooting people in big explosive balls of fire.
It's difficult to know where to begin with what was wrong with it.
Well, what was wrong?
Can we
with it
start with
was the pace.
How many shots did there have to be
Of him without a
Sean
shirt
Penn
on?
without a shirt on? Going,
Oh.
I've worked really hard on these muscles.
Yeah, look at
But
these
you
muscles.
look like a freak. You don't
Right.
look like any. You don't look like anything except I'm a Hollywood actor who spent a lot of time.
In the bit at the
Beefing
end
up
when
with
he
his
was in
role.
the hospital bed and his hair was all over the place and she was looking through the window, all she could be thinking is like, is that an old woman in the bed? Like, is that the Wicked Witch of the East in the bed? Is that what's going on
He
here?
did. He looked like the wicked. Yeah, you're right. He looked like the Wicked Witch of the East, like on steroids.
On steroids.
The thing at the end where he's wearing the bulletproof vest without a shirt.
Without a shirt. I was like, at least
There
a
were
t-shirt.
so many ridiculous things. And the thing was, right,
Okay, first of all,
for the first half hour, I thought, I'm actually quite enjoying this. I don't mind.
I was the opposite.
Straight
I was
face.
the
I
opposite.
didn't mind it.
No, because I'm sorry,
No,
there
it's
were
fine.
so many sequences in that opening 45 minutes, which felt like interminably long dribble. There were so many sequences in that were utterly not needed. They were utterly not needed, right? Within 5 minutes, we'd established that him and the bird were like great love affair for the ages. That was happening. We didn't need that established further. We already knew that, right? We'd already got the fact that Javier Bardem was a bit of a shit, already established in the first 5 minutes, right? And then all the other things that they were doing there, oh, we're a bit of a black ops company, blah, 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 all established in that opening sequence. He even had the gall to write a news broadcast over the beginning of the movie, which clearly states says, you know, UN troops and American troops can't handle this, so we've sent in, like, black op companies, blah, 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 blah. Right? All that was already established. We then get fucking 45 minutes of interminable exposition that went on and on while he wandered around without a shirt on, having an old woman's face. Which was insane, because he's like Ricardo Montalban in the fact that his wrinkles start at the neck and go up, and everything else is this sort of strangely waxed, greased up thing, and then he has this old woman's face, which was obscene. Secondly,
that's generous. To call that one, you just said one.
Well, and then what was the other thing? Well, the other thing, it just took way too long to get to anything where he was doing anything that was interesting.
Right, do you know, my biggest problem with the film is, like,
and then he tried to
morally
bar in all this fucking message, and I'm like,
no, but
give it a rest, Penn.
But my problem with it was, like, morally speaking, the whole thing was like the most morally dubious film I think I've ever seen.
Right, they're all culpable.
Yeah, in that, first of all, he confesses to this woman who he, like, totally walked out on 8 years ago without a message.
Well,
hang
on, let's back up.
I did.
Let's explain the plot.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm going to get the Coney Island roast beef. The roast beef dip.
Sure.
Yeah.
Any French fries?
No thanks.
No. Want to drink?
Have you got any chamomile tea?
Yeah.
I'll get one of those things.
Can I get ketchup for table 3?
Can I get the roasted chicken with rosemary?
Sure.
Does that come with like a gravy?
You want gravy?
Yeah, can I get... Yeah, just give me a side of gravy with it. That'd be great. Thanks.
It comes with the soup or salad first. No? Okay. Salad?
No, I don't really need either, thanks, man. Because it comes with vegetables and everything, right?
It comes with vegetables.
Yeah, that's great. That's
you want
great.
gravy on the side, huh?
Yeah, and just water.
Okay. Thanks, man.
So just back up and explain the plot before we
Okay,
start
just
it.
very
Very
quickly. Sean Penn.
That's literally what... Sean Penn.
Sean Penn wildly miscasts himself as a...
He co-wrote it. That's when the warning bells.
Yeah. Sean Penn wildly miscasts himself as like a... He's supposed to be like the brooding...
Thank you.
Lone warrior type. Trying to, be a good man in a bad world. Bollocks.
Well, no, initially he's in the Congo.
Yeah, let's keep it simple. I never keep it simple. I'm going to keep it simple. This
Congo
time,
works
super
for a
simple.
black ops
He's in the Congo. He's working for a security company, ostensibly protecting the organisation that his girlfriend works for.
Which is
but actually,
like
he's
Doctors Without Borders type
right. He's also working for.
They've got
contracted to another company,
contract.
And in the parallel contract, he assassinates the Minister of Mining, which is almost certainly not a thing. The Minister of Mining.
I'm sure it's the Minister of Agriculture.
Yeah, but Minister of Mining. I mean, maybe there is. Who knows?
Or Minister of the Interior.
Yeah.
What do they do?
Minister of MacGuffins gets shot, and so Sean Penn has to flee and leave his girlfriend behind.
I don't know, which is, right, all set up by Javier Bardem so that he can have his greasy way with the woman.
Yeah, Javier Bardem, for reasons not explained, is like, partly I'm a doctor, but also I act as a intermediary between the mining company and you, because they need an intermediary.
Right. But he's
surely,
also sleazing all over Penn's...
Why do they have to get someone from a different company to talk to Sean Penn? Just talk to people in his company.
Right.
It's much easier. But anyway, so he's sleazing all over the woman. So Sean Penn leaves. The woman takes up with Bardem. 8 years later, Sean Penn is in the Congo again, surfing and digging wells like a fucking hero. And everybody thinks he's brilliant because he surfs.
Even though he assassinates... Oh, by the way, after he assassinates the Minister for Mining, which, as you say, is clearly not a thing, there is then... This leads to incredible social unrest and
there's another news
murders
report that says,
and...
by the way, what he did was really bad.
Yeah, everything he did was the worst thing.
It was the worst you could imagine. Think of the worst thing, and then imagine that going on for ages.
Because the Minister of Mining clearly stands tour between the guerrilla war and the common people.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they made a big point. I think I'm just saying.
But no, it was to do with the fact that it then opened the floodgates for anyone to come and loot the country of its natural
there were
resources.
things going on that were true and were real, right? But then I've never felt more. I've never felt more.
That
in
news
a movie,
podcast at the very end of the film, where it zoomed in right into his face, and he was like, "The natural resources." It was almost like he winked to the camera to go, "Right on, brothers."
Yeah, remember, killing people is bad.
Children, children and gold.
I've never felt more like halfway through the movie. Anyway, sorry, because I'm getting.
No, it's fine.
So anyway, Blah flees the country, but comes back 8 years later.
He's amazing.
And then out of nowhere, 3 people try and kill him, which leads him to believe that that's probably because of that thing in the Congo.
Right.
Yeah.
Which leads him to go.
He's had an entire career, right? Thank you. He's had an entire career of, I'm assuming, killing an awful lot of people.
Right. At one point, Javier Bardem says women and children and all sorts.
Yeah. So
he's a scumbag.
So
he's like a major level.
He
scumbag.
is like a major scumbag. But anyway, he immediately goes, "Oh, it's probably the Congo thing," and then sensibly enough goes to a major populated city.
Yeah. To hang out with Ray Winston
and tries to talk to like as many people who are probably trying to do him in as possible. Good work there, sure.
Yeah.
Sure enough, they try and do him in, and for the rest of the movie, he sort of buggers around in Spain for some reason, where in Spain people who are Spanish try and kill him and they don't kill him. And then the end happens.
Well, no, then he has. It's revealed that he has. He always says from the very beginning of the movie. He says that he has memory issues.
No, it's like.
Hang on, no, he does.
Sorry.
From the very beginning of the movie, he says, "I even had to write down when I had to go and piss." Right? Hang on a second. I'm going to explain it because this was my second point earlier that I forgot. Okay. So it's explained towards the beginning of the movie.
Shorthand, it was shit.
Right. But it was explained that he forgets things all the time. So he's videotaping on his phone and he's writing stuff down in notebooks. This is all very handy because it's one large rolling MacGuffin that is going to come back at the end.
Again,
but then what happens is when he's hanging out with Ray Winston, who, for some reason they thought, oh yeah, over the hill ex-military type, let's give him a laughably bad wig.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that.
I mean, Winston was great, but the only way...
He was the only good thing in the movie.
The only way to use Winston is how they use, funny enough, considering we saw the Transporter rebooted or whatever the fuck they're calling it beforehand, the only way to use Winston in this movie, joyously, would have been like Statham uses the French guy in the Transporter movie. And to have him as a sort of Hawaiian shirt wearing, like, comedy stooge, which they kind of do but kind of don't. Anyway, while he's in London, they get into a completely innocuous pub fight, which was ridiculous. Sean Penn then throws up afterwards.
Cruel and mean, and like he does things all the way through the movie that Sean Penn's like, oh, clearly he thought, yeah, I'll do this because that'll be real, it'll be real and dark, and that's what this guy has to deal with. But Ash is like, what a prick! Like, he just like flies. He punches a woman in the face at the end of the movie, and I know it's supposed to be like, oh yeah, but it was horrible. It was really nasty.
But yeah, I mean, also be aware that Pierre Morel, who directed it, is the guy who directed Taken, and Taken's action is very, very like gritty and nasty action. Like there's no.
Does Liam Neeson ever punch a middle-aged woman in the face?
He threatens to shoot the French guy's wife.
Yes, but does he ever punch a middle-aged woman in the face?
No.
No, it's pretty grim.
Especially if she looked like a high school teacher.
Yeah, and then she, like it cuts away. She's like staggering away, bleeding. You go, I understand that she was working for the company, but at no point did they probably say to her, "By the way, you might get punched in the face." You know what I mean?
So anyway, well, she has a brain hemorrhage and dies. So
is she dead?
She's dead.
That just reminds me of the bit in Morel.
Because he punches
She's
her.
fucking dead.
He punches her in the temple with like a padlock in his hand or something, didn't he? I mean, she had blood gushing. You don't get that just from being punched in the face. It's like blood spurting out everywhere. She had blood coming out.
No, because Javier Bardem had blood spurting out of him, and he punched him in the face. He punched a lot of people in the face and drew blood. And also, by the way, I know that Javier Bardem was like okay, he fancied Penn's bird, but to be fair, just looking at it realistically for the moment, realistically, there's Javier Bardem's character. He's going, well, she's doing it with the soldier bloke, but the soldier bloke's going to be dead, like, or perhaps even punch her in the face because he looks like the kind of like,
Javier Bardem's also a war profiteer because he sets up that company, and yes, it's under the guise of being humanitarian, but he's also what that company is doing is profiting from the situation.
Oh, I didn't realise he was a war profiteer.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He went in like the other guy. He went in.
I just don't think he was like they were trying to make out like Javier Bardem nowhere near good enough for Penn's bird. Do you know what I mean? She's never going to forget Penn.
Well, because he was an alcoholic.
Yeah, but he wasn't at the beginning. Look,
he was a bit of an arse.
I'm not saying he was.
No, I agree. We've got off the point about his head injury.
But the entire purpose of, by the way, he looks exactly like Bill Hicks in the second bit of the movie.
He looks like Bill Hicks versus like Bill Hicks merged with Judd Nelson.
Yes, he does have a certain Juddness about him.
When they had him wearing an earring, it was almost like everything hateful.
He was also like I get that, like presumably there's a movie somewhere where Javier Bardem has been good. I believe that does exist, but he was piss poor in this.
Right. So anyway,
sorry.
Sean Penn has this head injury when he's in England, presumably to mooch off the NHS. They take him. He has an MRI.
That's right. But he gets a diagnosis from the least sympathetic doctor of all time.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Anyway, he gets.
You're just trying to get through the synopsis.
Yes, he gets a diagnosis that he has plaque on the brain, and if he does any loud things or like damages his head in any way, blah 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 blah, big problems will ensue.
He has to stop being himself, or else death.
Right. Which, if like when in Run All Night, Neeson's character is plagued throughout by what he's done in the past or whatever it is, which there was a little bit of in this movie as well, because he keeps having a flashback to like Bardem giving him the order and all that, but it was selfishly motivated because it wasn't about shooting the minister for mining, it was about having to leave his bird. That's what he was really guilty about, was he was like, I left my bird and now she's shacked up with Flavia Bardem.
Also,
Flavia Bardem, that's brilliant. Flavia Bardem. So anyway, right? So he's not really guilty about shooting all these people. It's real. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is, if they'd used the head injury thing all the way through for some like greater purpose, or to make him a bit of a wounded Ronin or whatever it is, right? That would have been something. But what they did is what I feared they would do, which is a head problem at the beginning of the movie, then nothing all the way through. There's a siege on a farm. He shoots a bunch of people, sets a room on fire, is running about, screaming, does a car chase, the car gets shot, which I presume is a loud thing, like if bullets go into your car, it's probably quite loud. He blows shit up around him, blah, 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 blah. No injury, no vomitus, no nothing, blah, 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 blah. Right at the end of the movie, just as the, evil British guy is pontificating about, suddenly he starts to have a problem again. So it's a whole that's my problem with the head injury thing, was that it meant nothing. It didn't further the story at all until the very end of the movie. It just gave him a little bit. What they did was they established, even 8 years later, he's still a better hitman than anyone else. And then they were like, how do we make him weak? Oh, we'll give him this head injury at the beginning of the movie that won't crop up again until the end of the movie. It was just awful. Let's not forget, he blows up an apartment in Spain while he's technically sort of still near.
Which, by the way, tactically speaking, I had a problem with that. There he is, he's trying to find out who's after him.
Right.
And he fools the people that booby-trapped his apartment. He unties the mine or whatever.
Oh, it was until it went on.
And then he walks in and they go, the mine didn't work, we'd better go over. They go, well, that's quite a good plan. You can go over there, you can kill one of them and then beat the other one up for information. This is pretty standard military stuff, I would think, right? Because he's after information, that's what he wants. Instead, he rigs the mine up and blows them up with their own device.
It was almost like a Wile E. Coyote scheme.
Yeah, you're like, what's the point of that, Penn? If you're trying to lay low and your big plan is, I know, I'll blow them up with their own mine. Yeah, and you're right, and you've got the loud noise. It was just all over the fucking shop.
Now, when it got down to him doing action, it was moderately entertaining. Like, and it was.
Yeah, but I never believed it was anything. I agree with you, except I never believed it was anything except it was Sean Penn
right
in the middle of it. Like, not like his character. Like, I can forget, like, Liam Neeson is not like...
Even funnier was that because they showed him surfing, I just kept thinking it's Agent Spicoli, and any minute now he's like from Fast Times at Ridgemont High. He plays like the Bill and Ted-esque dopey Californian surfer with the blonde hair and everything else. So I just kept thinking he was Spicoli going around like capping money. It was a bit hilarious. We interrupt this program to bring you more music. Earlier you heard a cut from Joel Lurie and the Pinehurst Trio's debut album Take Me There, and now coming up from the album Jobs Songs by the very nice, interesting singer man, it's School Psychologist.
Lots of the kids who attend the school are completely insane. Somebody's got to come in and do something about their broken brain. School psychologists help us with these crazy kids. School psychologists help us fix these crazy children. These teachers can not educate without some pills that will sedate all the hyper kids and the psychos too. Finally bring some peace into the classroom. School psychologists help us with these crazy kids. School psychologists help us fix these crazy children. Detention is always overfilled, but it won't be when we get those pills. Don't bother with therapy, just drug them up so that they won't bother me. School psychologists help us with these crazy kids. School psychologists help us fix these crazy children. They walk the halls without a pass, but it's even worse when they're in class. Disruptive, destructive, everything but instructive. School psychologists help us with these crazy kids. School psychologists help us fix these crazy children. Lots of lunar kids, lots of psycho kids, lots of crazy kids, and worse. In the 5th grade, in the 2nd grade, in the 6th grade, even in the 1st.
CSI Cyber, that's a new show.
Yeah. Forget it. They'll just keep making them until people stop
Wait a
watching
minute,
them.
there's a new show called CSI Cyber.
Yeah, I guess it's like solving computer crimes with computers. That'll be interesting.
But how is that a crime
I wonder if
scene?
there'll be some kind of like... I don't know. Oh, you know what? Something else occurred to me.
Yeah.
Which was this once again followed the rule that if the trailers before the movie are shit,
Yeah.
the movie's going to be shit. Every single trailer,
Except Furious 7.
except Furious 7. was shit. Thank you very much. That was for me. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks very
Wow,
much.
this is great.
Thank you.
Yeah, there
Look.
was a trailer for that piece of shit Hitman movie.
That. What else was there? There was Hitman, which was pish. There was some. I mean, it
The
was
Transporter refuel.
The Transporter rebooted. Or
Which looks so objectionably bad.
Right. Because the main problem with it is, as we pointed out, is that in the original Transporter, he's sort of a soulful loner who sort of has a bit of a heart and has a bit of a code. And in this one, he's just some swanky playboy dickbag who goes around being fucking...
Who like wanders into rooms with trailing beautiful women behind him,
Being
and then
like,
makes a smart
bloody
remark,
blah.
and then kills everybody. Going,
Yeah.
This is horrible. Why would I want to watch that?
Why would I want to be watching Sean Penn killing everybody?
There's so much about it that was just bad. Like my reservations before we even watched the movie were every movie I've ever seen Sean Penn in that I like him in, he plays a very weird, troubled.
I don't know that I've ever
dark
seen a film with Sean Penn in it that I like. I can't think I own a lot of Penn movies.
Sweet and Low Down?
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
U-Turn?
No, see, that's John's thing. That's not my thing.
Oh, I like U-Turn. I like U-Turn. I like Sweet and Low Down.
This chicken is obscene. It's amazing. Look how big it is. Oh, and the skin's all crunchy. This is the business. Sorry, carry on. I'm now reviewing the diner rather than the movie because the movie was just... It was like... And it was 2 hours long as well. It just went on and on and on.
What I don't understand... Okay. The thing that bothered me most about it was the moral aspect. The idea, first of all, that he can kill a whole bunch of people, assassinate a government minister for money. Like, there's not beat around the bush here. He wasn't like forced to do it. They didn't kidnap anybody. He assassinated a government minister for money without even like a second thought. Fled the country, didn't bother to like call her. Causes indirectly like years more of civil war and strife and murder, leaving her presumably to pick up the pieces. And then when he swans back into her life, she shags his brains out, and then they like steal stealing that farmer's car really bothered me as well. It's like, oh yeah, we'll take this farmer's car because he's this poor farmer, and my husband's been after trying to buy his car for ages, but he won't sell it. So we're just going to steal it.
Yeah.
Anyway, after all that, he says to her, you know, and he explains what he did and how he assassinated the minister. He goes, well, this is going to have to be a pretty damn good bit of writing to get him out of what I can only assume is a pretty big pickle as far as she's concerned.
Right.
Oh, it's going to have to be a pretty big speech, right? Pretty good justification.
No. Oh, and that bothered me as well. That we had just had this great shootout. He'd just driven around in the thing. He was like, we're going to have to change cars. They get to like the old style sports car, like I'm going to drive around in picturesque Spain in my old style sports car. And then she's like, let's not go anywhere until you cumbrously get out of the fucking car and then stand and have a long, tedious conversation about shit we've already seen.
But worse than that, because you're right, that was the setup, him saying, I thought of you every day. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm really, really sorry. I've felt horrible ever since then. My life is a non-stop nightmare of guilt, fear and pain, which I thoroughly deserve. And I've come into your life and I've fucked it all up again.
Right.
Got your husband shot, which I have no right to do. I am a scumbag.
Well, no, the husband got himself shot.
No, that was just because if Penn had fucking left him alone, it would have been fine. No, that's not even the point. The point is that would be a legitimate reaction for her to have, to him going, I'm sorry.
Right.
I did think about you quite a lot.
Right.
And she's like, oh, fine, cool, brilliant.
Well, she had a bit of a cry.
Oh, God, remember when she like walked out of the meeting with him and Winston?
Well, dinner, they were having
dinner.
And
then she just like sit down in bed and it was like a 2-minute shot. It's like, oh. It was really nasty, that like close-up shot of her crying. Like, yeah, let's have a bit of misery. Let's get a bit of misery in it. You know?
But Penn clearly, based on the last 5 minutes of the movie, made the whole thing to make some point about corporations like looting Africa while people are killed in their thousands.
Which is fine. And there are movies to be made about that.
Right.
But this wasn't the movie.
I was right when I said to you...
Because he thinks he's being cool.
Was it you that I said that he was like the Bono of acting? Was it you that I called him the Bono of acting?
No.
I think it was John that I maybe said it to. But he is like, to me, he's like the Bono of acting. That's how I feel about Sean Penn.
Well, I agree. Well, my big problem with the movie is that you can't make that movie and then bulk up and wander around going, look at me, I look so fucking cool and ripped, and look at me kicking the shit out of these people and murdering them, you know, and like it's a glorification of death and violence, which is fine. I've got no problem with glorifying death and violence, but not in a movie that's saying, oh, death and violence, there's too much of it.
Well,
fucking cunt. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I mean, really, I was kind of... The more the movie went on, the more angry I got about how I've never felt more like a grumpy Republican. You know, like these Hollywood liberal types. Do you know what I mean? That's what I was thinking. Watching Sean Penn swanning about with his shirt off, stabbing people in horrifically horrible ways, some of whom are completely innocent. To make the point, yeah, violence, whoa, it's a bit too much of that. What if we had less violence in the world? What if you made a movie with less violence?
But it wasn't. It was like... Here's a movie made not just by one, but 3 massive corporations. Because it was made by like the Silver Company, Studio Canal, and one other thing. as well as Amazon Prime, they also threw some
they got
money
it on
in
the
there.
action. Yeah.
Right.
With their unerring gift for spotting a winner.
And so, like, it was just like, I don't necessarily feel the same. I agree with you, the hypocrisy in the movie, that I totally agree with. To me, I quite like my action sort of very violent.
I don't mind
like
that either.
that.
It's not real. I've got no problem with I really love Taken. I like a good bit of disgusting action. But in a movie where I know it's saying to me,
Right.
we got a message, by the way.
Right.
This is a message. If I have to use violence to get that across because I need to like attract your short attention span, fine. Have some. It's just like.
But even on a filmmaking level, the first 45 minutes, like I was saying earlier, my biggest problem with it is it just had loads and loads of irrelevant, repetitive scenes in it that just didn't need to be there.
The thing that I quite liked about it, initially anyway, was I quite liked the idea about
Like, why do we need to know?
the order of tea.
Did it not come?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
As long as it's not on the bill.
Well, we'll check.
Why did we need to know that they were trying to adopt a child? Why was that important to the movie at all?
No, it really wasn't.
And yet took up vast sections of my watching time.
What was that about?
What was that about? Why did he even need a head injury? Why was that important? It doesn't matter, right?
No, it didn't. Well, because I think there was.
And at the end, it was like, you will have to go to prison for like what you've done, even though you're going to give us all these details. It's like, okay. And he was clearly in prison for a month and then showed up in the Congo to do more work.
And then right then...
fuck his bird.
Right, he's killed a lot of people.
Right.
But right then...
On foreign soil.
And when he's in the graveyard, and Idris Elba looks at him and be like, all right, mate, you and me, we're the same, yeah? We're brothers in the struggle. You know, he's a murdering shitbag who's backed into a corner that you cut a deal with. And you wouldn't think about him any other way.
Right.
Just because he used the treehouse line back at him. Also... giving Idris Elba second billing in the movie when he's in it for like 3 minutes is weird.
Right.
The whole thing was like... And it also, like, you know what else? It had bugger all to do with Africa. Like, he's in Africa for like a bit at the beginning. Most of it's in Spain. You know what I mean? It's like, it's talking about this conflict, but it's all like happening in Spain. Like, if it happened in the Congo...
Right.
That might have been something.
Yeah, but then Penn would have had to have spent some time there.
No, we couldn't submit. That wouldn't be fair on the poor Congolese.
Right.
But you know what I mean? Like, at least that would have made some kind of sense, but... So what the fuck did Barcelona have to do with anything?
No, but it's like... You know what I mean? Like, Taken could be looked at as about human trafficking, right? But at no point is there a close-up on a British newsman's bulbous nose going, human trafficking, eh? Human trafficking.
If only someone would punch all of them in the face in really quick succession.
Whereas in this movie, in the last 5 minutes, there is a series of British newscasters. Notoriously, some of the most boring people, so why am I watching them on my
I know,
movie?
it's so weird, and they're all boring newscasters as well.
Right.
Different ones too.
Hello, I'm reporting from the BBC in an incredibly boring way. Murder, eh? It's not a good thing. Next.
It was just the bit. I can't remember exactly when it was that it lost, but I was quite enjoying it. I think it was the bit where he got out of the car to explain what he'd done, and it was so badly written, and they had no idea how to handle the fact that he was a murdering sociopath.
Well, what drove me nuts was that I'd waited all this time for there to be some action. There was some action, and then it ground back to a halt while he stepped out of the car to tell us something we already know. All you need to do is have her get in the car, then cut to later on, and he is then apologising for all the shit that we already know he's done.
But he doesn't even apologise for it. He just says, "Oh, I'm really sorry I didn't, get in contact with you. I was thinking about you."
But-
even on that level, right? Even assuming that he hadn't killed hundreds of people and caused a civil war, even assuming that
Let's
hadn't
not forget the
happened,
Minister of Mining.
and the Minister of Mining, the Minister of MacGuffins,
Right.
even assuming
That can go, yeah, thanks.
even assuming that none of that ever happened, and all he'd done is walked out on her 8 years ago, that's all he'd done, and then he says to her, "Yeah, I'm really sorry I did that. I did think about you.
Right.
I didn't write, didn't call, couldn't really be bothered to do anything. Couldn't even be bothered to come look you up if I was in the Congo, or come to Spain, or anything. I couldn't really be asked. So, but I did think about you quite a lot.
Yeah, I did.
Even on that level, that's rubbish.
Rubbish, yeah.
And she would be really, really angry.
Yeah. And the thing is, right,
Instead of wanting her the bloody shirt off.
had it just been like Taken but in the Congo, in other words, Sean Penn running around capping mothers, none of this would be important. We just wouldn't care. We would have just enjoyed it. But because he decided to spend so long being ponderous, we've actually had time to analyse it and go, ooh.
You're right. If it had gone the Taken route and gone, let's set it in the middle of the Congo and let's tell a story, because presumably mad, crazy violence is a way of life there, right?
Right.
In terms of like survival or finding information or whatever.
Best chicken I've ever eaten.
Well, that's
so
extremely good news. But that would at least make sense, and you could make a point about this all has to stop, blah blah blah, and you could have that character make some kind of a choice in the movie where the violence stops. But he doesn't do any of that. He never makes a choice to stop the violence. He just keeps killing people until there's nothing left to kill.
You know what Penn did?
What?
Penn took an existing action script and penned it up to the max. That's what he did.
Yeah.
And there's your problem.
No, it's based on a fucking book.
Yeah, I know, but
I doubt the book. I'm telling you, the book was probably heartfelt, probably written from the point of view of a guy that works at a security company, deeply ashamed of himself and his actions, hoping to find some kind of atonement in telling his story as accurately as he could.
Right,
but Penn went, yeah, that's really great, but what if I play him and I get ripped up and we give me a sexy French girlfriend who's like 30 years younger than me, and we make it all about her? Because the proles won't understand international politics. We better make it all about the fact that it's a true love affair for the ages. Even though if I stop to think about it for a minute, my character's a mad sociopath. Right. And just because my head hurts occasionally doesn't make it okay.
Right.
That whole plaque on the brain thing was a shortcut for. We don't want him to have to feel.
God, this is good.
They wanted to give him pain. They wanted to give him consequence for his actions.
Right.
But in a really kind of ham-fisted way. He didn't take responsibility for his actions.
I tell you what,
at any point in the
Penn,
movie.
just don't go to a rock concert. Try not to shoot anybody. Have a cup of tea occasionally.
Lay low. They're only after you anyway.
Right. Yeah. Just die.
Just fucking lay low. Find out why they're after you. Oh, there's a congressional committee that wants to call you forward.
And once
That's fine. Lay low until that's over.
Or give yourself up. Tell them everything you know before you kill a bunch
At least
of
that would be
people.
redemption, right? At least that would be something. But then it's just a movie about Sean Penn walking into an office going, "It was me," which would still have been better than this.
Yeah, because if he'd done that and given everybody else up, because everything he has on all these people happened before all this other killing. So had he just given it up?
How does he ever see the light of day again, given the number of people that he killed?
I don't know. But do you know what I do know?
What?
That was some damn fine chicken.
Well, my roast beef sandwich was really, really delicious. It was excellent.
Well, then it was worth coming to Old John's lunch.
It was even worth coming to see the movie because
No, on a.
it did steal 2 hours of my life.
It did, and let's dial it back a bit to pure, action.
All right, fair enough.
If
Fair
you're
enough.
going along, if you felt that with each Taken sequel, or with each Neeson movie, or with each whatever, or even The Equalizer, which was, I forget how bloody it was. It wasn't particularly bloody, but if you've missed particularly gratuitous, exploitative, gory, violent action, then the second half of this movie gives you that in 2 or 3 fairly decent set pieces. Nothing's remarkable, but fairly decent.
The only one that I really liked was when they came for him originally in the Congo, and in front of that kid, he turned from being kindly NGO worker to like mad, crazy, skilled killer.
Right.
And the shock on the kid's face.
Right.
That was, and the things he did were pretty cool as well.
But even then, he drove away. He goes, "Oh, the keys."
Yeah,
in
you
the
wait
Jeep."
here, and I'm going to fuck off. Wow, no, you're right. I totally forgot about it.
No, that's good. We'll just take the check. Thanks, man.
I'd forgotten about that, but that was another piece of wildly irresponsible behaviour.
It was like a what? Why were
right? Oh, fuck off then with the gun in the Jeep.
He's like, the keys in the Jeep. Bye. Like,
See you later, you'll be alright. I assume. I don't care because I'm a sociopath.
yeah, right.
I'm off to find my old girlfriend.
Oh, do you need to clear off the?
Yeah, we basically throw.
Well, we'll
Okay.
get the check. And
Okay, yeah. Give us 2 minutes. What time is it? It's only 10:30. Yeah, well, give us a minute. Sorry, we're just recording something.
No, you can't.
Anyway, carry on.
What was I whittering about?
I don't know, but it just seemed completely fucking bizarre.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
It's not that I don't like the bloody violence.
Thanks.
Right? Thank you very much. It's not like I'm saying, oh, it's too violent, or I don't agree with violence is morally wrong. No. I'm explaining to people who might be listening.
Right.
That was not my problem in the movie.
No,
I'm all for like mad violence, but not when that's what they're trying to say.
Right. No, I'm just saying that. I'm just saying that's our critical response to it, right? There was a lot wrong with the pacing. There was a lot wrong with the crowbarring in of various obscure messages.
There was a lot wrong with every decision that Sean Penn made.
There was a lot wrong with Penn's character and his blah, 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 blah. I'm just saying, if you want to go see The Gunman as like a pure action movie, in other words, Sean Penn does Liam Neeson, which is how it was billed, to be fair.
Right.
If that's what you're going to go and see, then be aware that the first 45 minutes you'll almost be asleep. Once the action does start, it is bloody, it is very violent, and it is moderately well filmed. Pierre Morel can do it much better than Megaton, who's done the Taken sequel.
That's true. It was it was filmed fine.
Oh yeah,
Nothing wrong with how it's put together.
there was the odd like travel show shots of Spain.
Yeah. There was even weird like stock footage of Gibraltar. It was like Gibraltar, and there was like a shot of like,
grainy
obviously
mini
not filmed
DV.
for them.
Yeah.
It was very strange.
I noticed that as well. And so there was some nice things about it, but ultimately,
yeah, it was just the thing is though, they make you pay such a high price for sitting for getting to the violence,
Right.
and it's not even like nice generic price of I don't know whatever. It's like some jokes or
there's no humour
some
to
like
it.
redemption or
But then
something.
Sean Penn is notoriously humourless.
Well, I can see that.
I mean, he is literally the personification of a lack of humour.
He's a man who shouldn't be in charge of movies.
Right. We certainly shouldn't be writing an action movie. Action movies, like, the best, like, this was like the antithesis of Run All Night. Like, Run All Night was constantly entertaining throughout the whole thing, even though it too had a fairly long build-up before there was any big action. It at least was captivating because you cared or gave a shit about the characters.
Right.
And although Neeson's character was morally reprehensible for most of his life, he was first of all, he was doing it for a reason, like he was trying to save a good and honest man, which was his son.
Right.
And secondly, he felt actual remorse for it.
He did. That's what
It wasn't just, I want to fuck this bird
I've got a brain injury.
or I've got to fuck this bird again. Or like, why haven't I been fucking this bird all the time? Which is, it's literally what it is. This whole movie was, he didn't care about the Congo. He just wants to sleep with a woman.
He just wanted to go back and sleep with a woman.
Crazy. Anyway, thanks so much for joining me again at the After Movie Diner.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
Sean Penn
I'm kind of glad because even though it could have been dull, at least it was bad. Do you know what I mean? At least it was like, and I don't mean like the action level was bad. I just mean at least the whole thing was like a giant mistake and should never have been made. And
But it was
plenty of things to talk about.
It was well made, and there was some redeeming bits.
Yeah, it was a well-made movie. If you'd made that movie with anybody else except Sean Penn,
Right.
right? Anybody else?
Right.
I mean,
no, but without all the blur.
Yeah, because all the blur was like added by Penn.
Right.
Like blatantly, that's what happened.
Right.
Because there's a movie that looked like exactly like this.
Right.
And they made it, and it was really Blood Diamonds, which was really, really good.
Right.
Made that point about African conflict, all the rest of it. And it was really exciting and a thriller. Really good action. Really great movie.
Right.
And it was fine. And the lead character was interesting. And
I thought for a minute they were trying to do like a 70s kind of, spy with remorse thing, but it never quite had that vibe. It didn't have enough of that 70s vibe to kind of... Anyway, thanks ever so much, Jim. Again, for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
And this is a track off my album, The Weekend album, which is now available on iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Spotify, you name it. Miscellaneous Plumbing Fixtures, The Weekend album. Check it out.
Drifting typewriter starts on the cobbles. The ladies all gossip at the caravan. Handkerchiefs are waving and bells in the air. Bustling market with meats in a can. Well, alright. Doth of the cap to the undertaker. Bristling mustaches on bended knee. Cafe tables filled with berets. And here we're not very far from the sea. Well, alright. I don't think you've got a single clue. Nobody asks about you. And if they do, I say who. Well, you really can't say that you've got it made till your shirt sleeves are rolled and you own your very own spade. And you've dug up the garden and winked at the sun. Until then, we're all just on the run. Hurdy-gurdy one on one too many ales. The organ grinder invested wisely. And the monkey went traveling to the south of France. I'm so glad you're staying so close beside me. Dirty cups in the sink in their own terrain. Ben Man got a tip on the horses. Startle news anchored by late-breaking events. This teacher's teaching one too many courses. Well, alright. I said alright. Oh, yeah. Well, I don't think it's the right way to go. This path is littered with memories and way too slow. You really can't say that you got it right till it feels like home in the middle of the night. And you open the curtains and wink to the sun. Until then, we're all just having fun. Well, alright. Well, alright.